Welcome to the She's an Asset podcast. I have an incredible guest to introduce to you today, somebody who means so much to me, who has really changed my life. And I'm hoping that you're going to listen to her and you're going to listen to what she has to say. If you are local in Maine, you're going to come and see her. And even if you're not, you can always reach out to her. She's a wealth of knowledge, wealth of information. Tawnya, can you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you, Autumn. I'm Tawnya Brown with CoActive Wellness and Hypnotherapy. I'm a certified medical support clinical hypnotherapist. I'm a life and a health coach, and I'm a certified light therapist. So I help people in a holistic wellness way take care of their mind, body, and spirit.
I love that. Tanya's really helped change my life. We met at a BNI meeting, and she has helped me heal from the inside out. And so I have told everybody who I love about Tanya. I'm telling you now about Tanya, and screaming her work from the rooftops because she has changed my life in such a short amount of time. She's helped me get rid of parasites, candida, overgrowth, different funguses. She's helped my back to feel better, which you guys all know. That has been, that's what took me out of law enforcement. So she's helped that. She's helping me clear H. pylori. She's helped me in so many levels. And I just cannot wait for you to get to know her. Tanya, can you tell everybody, how did you get started in this?
Absolutely. So I was in occupational medicine for 34 years, and then the pandemic happened. And I had a lot of questions that not a lot of people had answers. And I had a lot of concerns about how things were being handled. And I decided that I think that people eventually were going to be looking for more of a holistic approach to manage their health and well-being. I felt like we were headed towards even more of a mental health crisis than we already had. And I wanted to be able to help people have alternative ways to take care of their mind, body without having to use pharmaceuticals.
And Tanya, tell us, I know this, so it's a leading question. Tell us about your early career. What have you always done?
So I've always been in medicine and wellness, always looking to help people. The majority of my time was in occupational medicine, so that's workers' comp, pre-employment physicals, helping employers improve their wellness offerings that they had for their employees. So I've always been in service of others and trying to help people find better ways to manage their health.
Where are you from?
I am from Maine.
You're from Maine?
I'm a Maine girl through and through.
No kidding. And so now you reside in southern Maine. Were you always in southern Maine?
I grew up in a small town in Dixfield, Maine.
Yeah.
So a couple hours north.
Okay.
And then when I joined the service, I ended up in South Portland. And I was there for 20 years. And then we decided to come up here to Windham, where we reside and have our business.
And that's where CoActive Wellness is.
Yes.
And so what did you do in the military? And this is big because my girls who listen to this, we have a lot of first responders, a lot of military veterans who also listen to this. So this is exciting. I want people to know that this is also a veteran-owned company. So yeah, what did you do when you were in there?
Absolutely. So I did storekeeper work. So I was on the 8th navigation team. So our team took care of buoys. And actually, prior to that, I was actually at the recruiting office for a small amount of time, recruiting other women into the Coast Guard.
Really?
Yeah.
Women's empowerment, girlfriend.
Yeah. So being part of the 8th navigation team in the role that I was in, I basically took care of all the ordering, the supplies, the scheduling, and things of that nature.
Wow. And so how did you go from that to healthcare?
I had always been interested in the body and making the body feel good. So I had always given massages to all of my family. I used to get paid a little bit for that. So after the Coast Guard, I decided to I went to school for massage therapy.
You did?
Yeah. I like to think that I helped bring massage therapy more in the workers' comp industry.
Okay, and how did you do that?
Well, so in workers' comp, physical therapy is considered OSHA recordable. Massage therapy is not. So having that tool to help be able to work with those companies that are more OSHA sensitive, like Associated Builders and Contractors, um, we were able to help our clients because it's a sort of a backwards system where people get penalized for injuries,
Yes.
even when they're very safe. So massage therapy was a way to help keep those OSHA recordables down because that's how some people gauged if they would give you work.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And so from that, from being a massage therapist, then what?
So as part of my massage therapy, I had worked for a couple of occupational practices, and then I opened two of my own clinics with my partner. And we had that for 10 years. And then prior to the pandemic, he was ready to retire. So both of our competitors, Concentra, which is the largest workers' comp in the country, and US HealthWorks, both wanted to purchase us. And then the pandemic happened.
And then the pandemic happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it was during that time that you opened CoActive, or tell me how that happened.
Yeah, so during that time, that's when I started seeing a lot of things that were happening that didn't make sense to me. How we went from I'm going to save grandma to I'm going to bribe you to maybe you're not going to be able to get medical care. Maybe you're not going to be able to have a job if you don't do certain things. The masking, none of it felt right to me. All of it felt counterintuitive and that it was going to do more harm than good.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided that at that time that I needed to work towards helping people in a different way.
And that's how you started CoActive.
CoActive Wellness. And CoActive Wellness, the name is because I'm not doing anything to you. We are coactively working together to reach your goals in health.
I love that. And thank you for the clarification. And so, what what do you do? I know, but for our people, what do you do with CoActive? Meaning, like, how did you get into this light therapy, and how did you get into this machine, and why this and not something else? Because there's so much out there, and
Yeah.
everybody's got red light masks, and they're laying in red light blankets and all sorts of shit. So, like, tell me more about what you do.
Yeah, so hypnotherapy was an easy fit for me because I had used hypnotherapy in my own life to remodel and amend things that didn't serve me. So getting that certification, I was like, okay, so now we're going to be able to help people with anxiety
Mm.
to get over habits that they may no longer want or fears. And then when I was down that journey, I was also very interested in the psychedelics. Like, what is that doing? And is there a way that we can help people have that experience or in a different way where they didn't have to take a substance that they don't know how it's going to affect. So that brought me to Roxiva, which is audiovisual brainwave entrainment therapy, which is a fancy word for light and sound therapy. And what that does, that has over 150 different things to support from having a visual psychedelic experience, which in my opinion with the psychedelics is it's bringing a little bit more color into your life, maybe giving you a little bit more room to start unpacking that trauma.
Oh.
But it also has many sessions over, if you want to feel calmer, if you want to do some breathing, some hypnotherapy, some meditations, more focus, you want to get out of pain. So that's what led me to that. And then I'm like,
Mm.
okay, so we're now taking the brain to the gym. So we can take care of the mind, we can take care of the brain, but what about the other brain, which causes so much issue with our mental health, our well-being, and brings dis-ease into the body. So that led me to the Firefly. So the Firefly is red, infrared, blue, and green light therapy. So the blue light takes care of things on the surface. The red light goes in about an eighth of an inch. The red infrared goes in about 8 inches, and the green light goes in about 4.5 inches and has a wider band. And I have an F scanner so that if you know who Dr. Royal Rife is, he was able to identify that we're all frequencies, and that frequencies,
100%.
yes, pathogens all have a frequency. And if you can apply those frequencies, you can get rid of those bad pathogens without harming the good stuff. So I'm able to scan what frequencies may be disrupting somebody's immune system, and then we can apply that in addition to the benefits of the light to help people get rid of that. And the Firefly is good for so many things, for neurological disorders, Alzheimer's, for pain, reducing inflammation, carpal tunnel, long haul COVID. I mean, I just can't express how many things that this has helped. So I feel like we sort of have the full package on being able to help people in a non invasive, natural way. Because if you give the body the right what it needs, it can heal itself.
I, I love that. And I fully agree with that. And that's what you've helped me to do. We're on that path. I'm on that path right now on the journey. You've helped me to do that. But I know what, like 4 people off the top of my head who I've sent here, you've helped like deeply. And now they're out there talking about it with people. And so I just feel really passionate about what you're doing because it is so needed. So many people are fed up with Western medicine. And I'm not saying there's not a place for it. Of course, there's a place for it. If I'm going to crash or if something really bad happens, like get me to the hospital. But when it comes to preventative care and looking at how to become healthy, I'm not depending on my medical doctor. I'm just not. He knows it. He knows it. So,
Well, I think that, part of the issue is that we don't talk enough about how toxins, trauma, and thoughts really affect the body, and how if we have a toxic overload, which we can get from the air, from our water, from our food, from the things that we touch, from our pets, and we just don't talk enough about how we need to be detoxing those things so that our immune system can handle some of the stuff that comes along that we're exposed to.
Tawnya, that's brilliant. And what's coming up for me to ask you is how did you know? Like, how did you know that we needed to detox? Like, what brought you to that? Because you are very big on detoxing, and we talk about it a lot. Like, when's the last time you detoxed? We've talked about lymph nodes. We've talked about all these things, rebounding, you and I got a
Yeah.
rebounder and I rebound. And we've talked about that. But how did you like stumble across this? Because it is not common. No one's telling you to detox. So how did you know to do it?
Yeah, well, I tell you, it's been quite the journey of my own. And I always tell people I was one big toxic dump, from growing up on a farm to being in the service, not knowing what was being put in my body,
Yes.
to well water. Um, yeah, I had stumbled across learning more about different pathogens in the body and how they can affect you and how you can pick up pathogens or parasites. I know that what's very interesting to me, and part of coming across this, is my parents lived in Mexico for 11 years, and every 6 months they would get from their doctor to do a parasite cleanse.
Really?
And when I started digging into it, it's like, well, we're the only country that doesn't talk about or do parasite cleanses on a regular basis. And there's so much that can wreak havoc within our system.
I had no idea. So they literally were in Mexico. This is like what they would prescribe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what they were prescribing?
I'm sure it was something antiviral similar to the ivermectin.
Ivermectin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you can't. People think that you're gonna die off the ivermectin.
Well, interestingly enough, the CDC has just come out with, they're now recommending that ivermectin is an option for COVID
Now,
now.
after Joe Rogan took it 4 years and he did it publicly and he healed. Isn't that interesting? It's so
Absolutely.
interesting. It's so good. Tawnya, you obviously are a woman who's crushing it. I want to go back and I want to talk and I want to highlight the hard times because there's somebody listening to this right now who has dreams to do what you're doing or something similar, and she may feel not confident, she may be stumbling, she may be falling, she may be not clear on the how would you say in your life, how have you remained resilient?
I think you just have to never quit on yourself. And you have to get up tomorrow and know that tomorrow is a new day and you're going to start over. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. We learn from those mistakes and we move on. And you just keep talking to people, keep educating them. Not everybody's going to believe in what I do, and that's okay. But if I can help somebody, that's my passion. My passion is helping one person at a time. And I do believe that if you heal one person, you heal many, because it affects everybody.
And how do you handle if somebody's, whether it be now or even when you were, getting into the military, getting out of the military, how do you handle somebody not believing in your dreams or believing in you?
I had to believe in myself first because I can tell you that I've been in many situations where it's been male dominant, where I can tell you I was on the board of, I won't say where, but I was on the board. I was one of the first women that had ever been on this board. And when I went into this room of 40 men, it was like I sat down and everybody like moved away from me. And I was like, you know what? I am meant to be here. And regardless of what they think, I'm going to show up every meeting, every time, the same way that I show up. And
Mhm.
eventually they moved closer, they moved closer, they moved closer, and they got through it. I think it's, you know, what I'm learning, well, one of my favorite sayings is what you think about me is none of my business. If I'm happy with who I see in the mirror and I know that I'm doing the right thing and that I'm always coming from the heart when I'm trying to help my clients, then it doesn't matter what other people think. And I can promise you that those people that are bullying you, those people that are not believing in you or are talking about you, it's all about them and their own insecurity and it has nothing to do with you. But those are the people that also need the most love from you.
Mm, so good. Did little Tanya know that she was going to be doing what you're doing today?
I always knew it would be something in health, and I always knew that it would be something helping people.
Really?
Yeah.
And what have you had to do mentally to get yourself here? Like, what have you had to overcome?
Oh gosh, so many things. Um, where to begin? Well, I had. Well, I'll tell you one story. I had to overcome. So as an adult, one of the things that hypnotherapy helped me with is every time I got up to public speak, it literally felt like somebody was choking me off. I had a
Really?
physical manifestation of that. Now, the memory that I didn't know was tied to that, when I was a child, I told the truth about something and about an adult hurting me. And the adult said that I lied. And so my body manifested that my voice didn't count. And that would show up every time I got up to stand up, even to say, hey, my name is Tawnya, it would show up. So through hypnotherapy, I was able to, because what happens is a lot of times we might bring that trauma through from a child to an adult that still affects you. But when we go back and we look at it, we can realize, hey, yeah, the child needed to feel that way, but the adult strong woman doesn't. So then you can let it go.
Tanya, and I have to just say, I feel like a lot of women can relate to that because how many times have we been through traumatic situations and we've been told we're wrong or be quiet or you lied like you went through and you believe it. And all that trauma is stored in the body. And and so it stops us. It stops us from moving forward. You and I've had so many conversations about things that I've gone through, disempowering. I'm out here teaching women's empowerment, and yet all I'm going through is disempowered, feeling disempowered. And I you've said this to me, is like, but we have to go through those things so that we can deeply serve who we have to serve, who we're here to serve, right?
Absolutely.
And so, okay, let me ask you this. There's people that are listening from all around the country and all around the world. They might not be able to come and see you. They might not be able to have access to a Firefly machine. Can we give them some practical advice, tips? What can they start doing today that would help transform their health?
Absolutely. So I would say that everybody needs to do a heavy metal and some type of a parasitic detox. You can do something simple for a heavy metal as 4 cups of distilled water, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of Celtic salt. Mix it up, do 1 cup every 2 hours until it's gone. As far as there's so many herbal parasite cleanse, Parashield is a real good one to try. It's a 21-day cleanse.
That's okay. Thanks. Go ahead. Keep going.
And then, I always say, one of the best things that you can do for your body is do a 3-day fast. Do a
3 day
3-day fast,
fast.
reset your body. I can promise you that those parasites and different pathogens can make you crave things in your body like sugar and carbs and make you hold on to weight as well as holding on to that trauma. So I always say, when you're getting ready to do this journey, Make sure that you are also in a good mental state to say, okay, I know that I may be detoxing, and as I'm detoxing, I may be letting go of some of that trauma and emotion as I'm processing through this.
I went through that. I totally went through that. As I went through my detoxes, like the things that I was processing, the things that were coming up for me, the things I was letting go of, the dreams that I was having, these flashbacks I was going through as I was detoxing. It was very real for me. And I at one night I woke up at 3 in the morning, and it was like a movie was playing in my mind. It was like this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And I just felt like that was the detox. After talking with you, I'm like, yep, this is my body. It's letting go of things. So and Tawnya, where can people find, like, if they want to contact you, if they have any questions, where can they find you?
Absolutely. Go to coactivewellness.com, and all of my information is on there. And even if you're not here near Maine and you would like some advice, give me a call. I'm happy to chat with anyone.
And you CoActive, your website. We're gonna have it in the show notes, and then you're on socials, right?
Yes, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn, girl. Of course you are. It's like a little more corporate. Where have you been? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have a profile on there. I'm not great on LinkedIn. I need to get better. But and Tawnya, one last thing, just a question for our girls listening. What advice would you give the girl who is teetering on the edge? She wants to level up. She wants to go to her next level. What would you tell her?
Put your next step forward. Don't wait. Just go for it. And don't let anybody, if you're being called to do something, to serve other people, to do something different, just do it. And don't listen to the other people's noise. Set your intention and just do it.
I love that. Thank you so much, Tawnya. And we will see you next time on the She's an Asset podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.